Do you have any information on this particular issue?
Sure. In regards to, first of all, what she mentioned on the transfer stations. The ministry, and for that matter, the Honorable Minister, has put in place measures in trying to at least put up transfer stations in major areas in Accra, which we're looking at about 3 projects or 3 programs, which we have the Gamma program, we have the Quanti program, and also we have the Ghana Netherlands Wash program, that the Honorable Minister is trying to make sure we have transfer stations in strategic areas in Accra to take care of that. In regards to that of the management of the Pond landfill site getting closed, I mentioned to my sister earlier on that I've not had any notice in regards to that. And looking at the period that they operate, that is from 8 to 5, I know for a fact that the Honorable Minister is making an arrangements for them to work overnight and also for them to work on weekends for us to be able to at least in the short term clear all what we have.
And do so, not a problem. All right, so what do we do right now, or what is being done right now to eradicate the waste from our streets? We saw Kaneshi, we saw Latabia, those sites, and it's not pleasant. So what are we doing to clean up the streets right now?
Right now, what the minister is doing is having a meeting with all these the stakeholders involved, i.e. the mayors in all Greater Accra area. The 11 of them, he's going to meet them, and he's going to tell them that they have to sit and make sure the city is clean. And I believe he's also having a meeting with the providers on Wednesday next week, and I believe very soon. By next week, when I come back to the studio, you see that our streets are clean.
Amma, do you believe him?
Okay, when I came in, we just had that discussion. But at the end of the day, it is my service providers that are going to do that job. And my service providers are saying, we need you to pay outstanding debts for us to improve on our delivery. So if they still are going to engage us, what about the debts? How is the landfill going to be operational 24 hours if the debt has not been cleared? So that is the issue outstanding, and the Honorable Minister has to address it. We need urgent intervention for us to do proper service delivery, because it has hampered our service delivery, because it's at the end of the day, the cleaning has been handed over to the contractors, and the contractors are going to ensure that they are the same people going to ensure that the communities and then the streets are cleaned. How are they going to work without the requisite necessary support that they need? That is the...
I'm going to ask that, since you've actually committed yourself to being here next week, I'm going to ask that both of you come back next week, and then we review this after you've had your meetings, and let's see if Amma is satisfied, let's see if the people of Accra are satisfied, let's see if also what you said comes to fruition.
Let me assure Amma that the Honorable Minister, Honorable Kwesi Okonfosu, is definitely going to make sure there is an intervention, because the minister is meeting all the mayors, and actually he told me yesterday that he's going to tell them to sit up and make sure they fulfill their commitment on the contract that they've signed with the providers.
Okay. Are there any plans for public education in regards to what we're talking about, rubbish segregation, the landfills and such? Because it's fine us putting all of these things in place, even putting the bins outside people's houses, but unless they know what to do with them, then they would just become pretty decorations.
Definitely there's going to be a public education. Like the polluter pay system is something that we're introducing in Ghana. It has been introduced already, but people need to understand that. And in one of our programs, which is the Gamma program, we specifically have a component in it that is going to take care of public education and capacity building.
Okay. Amma, anything else you want to cover before we wrap up?
Yes, I think I also use this opportunity to plead with the assemblies to fix economic rates for their contractors. As I speak, the contractors are still taking fees as low as 5, 10, 15, and those fees were fixed 2012, and we are in 2014. beginning this year, fuel has been increased, and they have to still operate using fuel. Look at their turnaround time, and they are still taking 10 cedis, 15 cedis, and those rates are also not economic rates, and as a result, it's also affecting their services. So I'll use this opportunity to let the assemblies also have that political will and power to fix economic rates. And again, the government and the assemblies need to clearly define who is responsible for the dumping fees. The reason being, the rates that my members are currently taking do not include the dumping fees. The fees were fixed for them without the dumping fees, and it is the responsibility of the assemblies to do that. But with the outcome and then all that is going on, they are pushing the blame back to us as if we are also responsible for the dumping fees or the tipping fees, which in actual fact is not in our contracts. So
let's let Emmanuel respond to that ever so quickly before.
So I would want to plead, I want to use this medium. We want to attain the Millennium Development Goal on sanitation, and sanitation cannot be out of government. Government needs to put some monies aside for sanitation issues. Government needs to put it as a priority. Government needs to intervene. Government needs to subsidize. Especially with the third classes, where they put the containers and things, and there are other places that people pay as low as 5 cedis. They are not economic rates. With such places, it is the responsibility of the government to intervene and help subsidize so that the contractors can also operate at a certain level.
Okay. We have a representative, so let him respond to you, and then we'll wrap things up.
All right, thank you very much. In regards to this particular thing, I have actually asked the mayor of Kumasi to get me the contract that they signed with one of the providers. Is it Stanley Owusu also? They should give me the contract so I can actually look into it and see who is actually supposed to pay what. The reason being is earlier we're trying to see who is supposed to pay a tipping fee, which she just mentioned. And I believe a tipping fee is supposed to be paid by the person who is going to actually put the waste at the site. So I said they should bring those documents for me to have a look at it. And two, if there is anything like the rates that needs to be revised, I've also mentioned to my sister that they should come back to the drawing table. Let's have a look at it and see what together, because it shouldn't be just the assembly fixing fees for the providers, but they should come back to the drawing table. Then we try to look at it and see what is really, what they deserve in reality, and I think that will help all of us.
I'll commend you on your efforts so far, and the fact that you're actually willing to talk about it. Some people have denied us interviews because they're dodging, but you've also committed to being here next week as well. So the two of us, or the three of us, shall we meet next week and see if what you have asked has come to fruition?
What about the payments?
And the payments, if they're being done as said. I want to thank you both for coming in this morning. This has been Mr. Emmanuel Kojo Adjokum, Honorable Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, and Ama Forienji, who's the Executive Secretary at the Environmental Services Providers Association. Thank you both for coming in this morning. Let's not forget that this segment has been brought to you by Peak Milk. We'll be back in just a few moments with more on New Day. Stay with us.